I'm really not one of those people who's always online or plugged into social media. Man, I feel there's a boatload of unnecessary pressures, and it's overflowing with a lot of folks playing pretend. So when I felt led to do Smile More, like I knew for sure that it was purposed. And me? Man, I'm just a normal person, born sinner, who is and has been tremendously blessed in life. And my aim is to return the favor by being that service to those who feel that no one cares about them or their problems. I have hope that this will help others. My caring companions will be joining me for the assist. So join us as we try and make these attempts at helping people smile more. Welcome to Smile More. I'm Lily.
And this is Sha'Tara.
What services can we provide for you today?
So I'm a full-time student. Oh, sorry. My name is Chez, by the way.
Hey, Chez.
Hi. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to balance everything that I have going on in my life and move out at the same time. Just trying to find some solutions or even short-term, I don't know, breaks, maybe I'll call them, or something to that effect, while I'm trying to do everything. I feel a little overwhelmed. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Are you working? You're in
I do work. I
school?
work two jobs,
Oh,
and I'm
two
in
jobs.
school,
And you go to school. Hmm.
and I go to school.
What jobs do you work, if you don't mind me asking?
So I am a library service representative for the City of Plano Public Libraries, and then I also am, I guess I'd say like a floater at the Southern Methodist University Bookstore.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. And what are you in school for?
And I'm in school for library and information services.
Oh, well, your jobs are right in
Okay.
line. You're not wasting
Yeah.
time, working at Taco Bell and, and you need to be, yeah, doing
Yeah.
librarian stuff. That's what's up. Hmm.
Well, that's a good start because it sounds like your job is lining up with your passion, what
Right.
you're passionate about. So that
Hmm.
makes sense. So you're definitely on the right track. So there, kudos to there. What made you tap into librarian?
Actually, it was, I guess, destined almost. Really, I was retail since I was 16, so I didn't really have like a career or anything like that in mind. But I had just turned 25, and I was like, okay, I gotta figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta get it. This retail life's not working, and I ran across actually these two medical librarians, and they told me about, the library world, how many different types of libraries there are. And so I just kind of started doing my research, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is definitely something for me because I love to read, and I love books and stuff. So
What's
it
your
was it
favorite
was like
book?
perfect.
I feel like
Oh
this is
man,
going to
I
excite
don't
you.
have.
Mhm.
It is. I don't really have a favorite book. I feel like I have just like I just love to read. Period. So anything can kind of become my
Oh,
favorite book
okay.
or a favorite book.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
Eric Jerome Dickey, I always say him as like my number one go-to author for sure.
Mm.
So
I'm sure,
yeah.
Shatara, I'm sure you know all about him. That's what's up, though.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. What's your work schedule like? Like, what days of the week do you work?
Hectic.
Oh man.
um,
Wow.
So at the library, my schedule it rotates by the week. So one week I could work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. But then the next week I'll work Monday, Tuesday, have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off because I got to work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Whoa.
Thursday.
Okay. Okay.
And then I
Hmm.
gotta fit my other job in between there
Oh my. And how
Wow.
many hours
on days
really?
off. Between the two, it's anywhere between I'd say 60 and 75 because I work both of them, during the week. So I'll squeeze 2 shifts in, If that means I got to work the bookstore in the morning, the library at night, then that's what I do.
So yeah, you are very extremely busy between the two of those.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't dare send a kid or a family. Jesus
I
Christ.
know.
Wow.
Like, how are you finding time to do your homework or schoolwork, classwork?
Oh, I was just actually reading before you called me, matter of fact. And so I didn't even realize what time it was, but I saw you call. So I was like, oh shoot, wrap that up. But that's the thing. I've really been telling myself, like, you got this, because I don't really have a choice. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I've been considering, I'm like, this is only the third day of school, and I already feel overwhelmed because I just think about everything that I have to do in the small time frames that I have to do it. So, if I'm leaving one job and I got like an hour break, then I'll fit some schoolwork in between there, go to the next one when I get off, try to squeeze something, schoolwork in there. And so you make time for it if you want to, and that's really for anything in life, though. So
and I'm like shaky. Like, you add in like a family, or like if you're in a relationship or just want to hang with your friends, like that's
yeah, that's the thing. I am in a relationship, so it's like, even with that, it's like, where do you fit that? These are the things that I'm thinking already. It's like, how do I fit that in? And now that I'm doing, school full time, working 2 jobs. During the summer, it wasn't an issue, but it's like I'm, literally tunnel vision, kind of, sort of. But remembering there's still other things around me, so I'm trying to squeeze it in as I can. Family, thankfully, I'm very grateful for my mom. Like, I do live with her. That's why I'm like, I gotta move out because I need my space. But she, but that support is everything. She's definitely, in agreement. She definitely, have her full support, even when I was only working one job and, going to school. But when I was ready, when the summer came, I was like, all right, I got too much time on my hands, let me get another job. And then, because of the type of job it is, it's like, okay, I can actually do this and still go to school. But, when it actually happens, you're like, oh, that's what I do.
Right.
Can I do this? But I've just kind of been, trying to tell myself, like, you could do this. If you really want to, you could do this. But I feel like somewhere in between there, if I really, I guess, I don't know, want to smile more, I guess, in the concept of what this is. I need my own space.
Yeah. How long have you been there? Because I know you moved. You said where'd you move from? Seattle.
Yeah, I moved from Seattle.
And so how long have you been staying with your mom?
I've been staying with my mom since I've been here, so that's been for 1.5 years. And the whole time I've been going to school, so having that support where I gratefully don't have to pay no rent. So that allows me to pay my bills, pay car notes and stuff like that. And then go to school and stuff like, And
survive.
so, yeah, but exactly.
Yeah, salute to parents, man. Yeah.
Yeah, for real, because all of them are not like that. And so I'm very grateful for her. So while she supports me on my journey, she know I don't want this forever either, though.
Right. And at the same time, as much love that's there in the household, it doesn't take long before, like you say, hey, I might need my space. You need your space, mama, and I'll come visit you, and vice versa. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I know 1.5 years, it's a great time to shake some things up. Okay. Well, shoot, let's see if we can, try to tackle that. How well are you with budgeting?
So I've lately, actually, I'll say like the beginning of this week, I actually started writing down like a budgeting plan because I'm not good at budgeting at all.
Okay.
I'll try. I will try. Let me say that. I will try.
Okay.
But then I'm like, oh no, I want this, or I want that. Now my needs definitely always come first. It's just after my needs are, satisfied, it always be like, okay, now I want this, but instead of going to get what I want, it really should, it's definitely discipline, no. So yeah, I'm not that good at budgeting at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, budgeting isn't my strength either. I'll just be honest with you. That's why you have a best friend like myself. There is the epitome of budgeting and telling and the upstart that and how to get you going like that. So
But
in
it
that
worked.
situation, it does. I will say that. I will
It
say
wasn't easy
the
because I
idea
feel you. Yeah, she.
that's
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
It,
You cried
it
the
it
whole
does
time.
work.
Yes.
I know, and you'll have those days. I'll be honest with you, Chez, where it's like, because I'm like you. Again, at the end of the day, I feel like if I've worked, and especially in your case, if I've worked 2 jobs, I deserve this Target spree, even if
Yo,
it's $20. I
Okay.
deserve it.
yo,
And
Chez. We was going down the list on stuff, her expenses, and she would just argue with certain things and be like, "Man, that ain't gonna make no difference. Man, I can keep that." Like we was going back and forth, so it's good because it's good to hear that all that fighting worked out. But yeah, I hate it too. I like who wants a budget, who wants delayed gratification. Like I want it now. Like so,
Right.
I feel you on just going ahead and buying stuff, but yeah, now we got missions, so we might need to work on that a little bit. Don't
Yeah, for sure.
you think? Well, yeah, I think that would help a lot because one of my first thoughts is maybe if you can find a way, because you definitely bringing in income with 2 jobs. Maybe one option could be to say from each job, maybe take 50 out of each check and have 100 a month,
Okay.
and maybe save up enough to have, I mean, in a perfect world, 3 months worth of rent at a place that you would want to stay, which means you'd have
Okay.
to go around and kind of see what area you would want to live in that makes sense, is reasonable, figure out all your utilities and all that kind of stuff, and then calculate if you want to do 2 months, of course multiply by two, if you want to do 3 months, and then save till you get there. That's one option. I mean, 2 months will be, you can do 2 months, but I wouldn't suggest 1 month just cause like I would feel
yeah,
naked.
That don't seem long enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because
I agree.
we want this train to keep moving and not just move out. You want to keep chewing instead of just chew, and then you stuck and you got to go
Right.
backwards. So, yeah, that was just my one thought. As far as moving out, because it's nothing. Or this is something to consider. Maybe have a roommate or roommates, and that'll cut the
Okay.
rent. And still save if you could, some kind of way.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. What you think, Sha'Tara?
Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the idea of you wanting to move out is to just have that independency. It's not necessarily do or die, or is
Yeah,
it just you're wanting to be able to live and kind of go as you
be on your
please?
own.
It's not a goal as I please. My mom, she's mad cool, but still definitely, a rock in the sense of, she know I'm good, but, um, so it's not that. I think it's definitely a matter of like wanting to feel independent. It's not that I don't feel independent because it's not that she don't do nothing for me, but she doesn't. Like I don't ask her for anything. She, it's one of those like I pay my bills, I pay my car note, things like that. So look, she and that's what I love about her. She allows me to do those things, but again, when you're not budgeting. So aside from that, is definitely a feeling of wanting to be independent, and as well as just like I want to. I don't know how to. It's not that I haven't started life because I know that like where I am right now in life is definitely a stepping stone to getting there. But I feel like I just kind of want it right now. I think that's my issue as well. I'm like, I'm in school, I'm working 2 jobs. Like, I do like, like Lily was saying, yeah, like I feel like I do deserve that. I deserve to have my own place. But on the other side, like, do you really want that, on top of you working 2 jobs and going to school? Because, if I go down to say just one job working that full time, that's to me in my mind, I feel like that's less time that I have to do everything else because I'm literally going to be going and coming from work. Does that make sense?
Mhm. It
Mhm.
does.
Mhm.
versus the two, I'll be at one job longer, for
Okay.
I'll be at one job from 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, and that only leaves me a certain amount of time to do everything versus having the freedom of two part-time jobs, but one more, I guess, full-time than the other, where I'm able to schedule my availability and things like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um,
I think.
so
Which leads me to
Mhm.
ask, too, what is your ideal day? Because I agree at the same time, if you living by yourself or you having that independency and you're still working two jobs and you're in school, how much of that would you really enjoy in your
Yeah.
own apartment
Right.
if you're on the go like that?
Yep.
So what in
right.
the perfect world, what is Chez's day from start to finish ideally?
My day, it's literally waking up, getting ready for work. One of the first things I do when I wake up though is read my devotional. Just to have
Mhm.
that positivity, to have something good to start my day. Literally,
Okay.
because
That's
I
good.
find that I'm like some my days I feel off, and a lot of times it's like, what, I didn't read my devotional
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll be like in a funk or something like that. So yeah, so I do that, get ready for work. I go to work. If it's a day where I'm working both jobs, then I'm literally, up before, the sun comes up, and so it's still dark outside, and I get home when it's dark outside. That's literally what my day is
Okay.
consist of. And now that I have school, then that was like, all summer, but now that I have school, it's like now I'm throwing school in the mix. So I could be at work from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. With the hour in between the shifts, and then getting off at 9 p.m., coming home, doing schoolwork, going to sleep, waking up, and doing it all over again. Waking up
Mm.
early to do schoolwork, going to work. So if I think about that in a sense of being in my own place, like I'll be there, but I won't really be there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
Right.
Mm.
won't really be grounded there. Um,
Mm.
and and then I'm, trying to find the time to do things around the house. Gotta make sure there's food in the house. Gotta, make sure clothes are washed, everything like that. That's already something that I have to fit in my day here. Living with my mom.
Right.
Well,
So it's even. Oh, go ahead.
no. So yeah, your actual schedule is hectic. Obviously, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yes.
So what would be? I think Shatara, what would be the perfect ideal for your day if you had to choose it?
If I had to choose
Yeah,
it,
if you got to choose how your day looked.
I think for me, I probably would rather the one full time job, on a steady
Like a nine
schedule,
to five,
because
Monday through
the
Friday. Yeah.
exact right,
Okay.
because then I know for sure, what I have available.
Okay.
It's not that I don't have that with one job. I just feel like throwing that second one into the mix. It's always like, okay, what does my
Hmm.
schedule look like? Which days am I working both jobs? Which days
Yeah.
am I only, because with the bookstore, that's the job that I fit into my daily routine. If it was just the library, then it would be me going to work. My day wouldn't start until way later. So I'd have, a good, I'd say like 6 hours to just do schoolwork. And then just to focus on schoolwork,
Yeah.
and as I do that throughout the week, I'll have more time for other things. But for me, I'll be feeling like I don't have, or for me, I'll start feeling like I have too much time on my hands with a
Oh.
schedule like that, because I've done it before.
Mhm.
um, and so that's kind of what led me into getting a second job anyway. So that a second job was going to happen whether it was during the summertime or whether I was in school. I knew that for sure.
Just because you
And
had the time and
so,
just wanted more extra funds, I guess.
yeah, because like I said, I want to move out. So it's like, if I want to move out, this is what I got to, this is part of what I have to do in order to get that.
Yeah.
And as I'm trying to, put myself in a position to even make more money, with my schoolwork and degrees and stuff. So it's like that is all
Oh my
it's
God.
all in there together.
How much
Um,
longer do you have until
but
you become a librarian?
so I still will have another. So I'm still doing my undergraduate. So I'll
Oh,
graduate with my, yeah, so I still have basically like another 5 years,
gotcha.
like in total, if you
Okay,
think
okay,
about it.
okay.
Well, I wouldn't say five, because one of my coworkers was telling me about the program for my master's,
Like an accelerate
at
one?
Texas. Kind of, yeah. So
Nice.
it would only, depending on how I stack my schedule, um, it could be done in 2 years.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but that's like with no, that's like with no breaks. So that's going from,
Ooh, you making me tired.
straight.
All the
That's
stuff you
going.
gotta do,
I'm
chat.
saying, So it would literally be like me graduating in the
Mhm,
summertime in summer 2020 or 22. My bad. I'm 2022, and
mhm.
then because TWU has my program available starting in the summer, I can literally go straight from graduating in the summer to going into school in the summer.
Straight
It just
just,
depends on how fast I want to do it,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And again, because I'm already seeing how it is now, I'm like, I'm probably not gonna go in the summer. But if I want this faster,
Mhm.
then I'm sacrificing something for it, and that's
Yeah.
starting right after I graduate.
Yeah, I, I
So
I had I had to quit teaching to go and join the master's program. Just yeah, yeah. But if it works with your life, grind quickly so you can call shots later and do what you want to do later. So, like that sounds
right,
continuous, but ideally, I know it would be good to do it where you can have the highest quality of life. And get everything done because you don't want to feel like this rat race for 5 6 years. Like,
hmm
yeah, it's gonna be
yeah,
over in six
exactly.
years, but what in those 6 years, like, how many gray hairs did I get? Like, come on now.
Right.
Out of the week, currently, which day do you have the most freedom and time to do things?
Uh, Typically Fridays. That's like one day. That's definitely like always a designated day off for me, unless I'm not working one day at one job. So I'm like, okay, I'll work here today because we got to work one. It's so, but it's typically. I know that sounds felt like so much. It sounds even when I say it, I'm like, dang, that sounds like a lot.
Right.
But I do typically try to, again, because I am able to give, my manager my availability at one job, I'm able to kind of construct what days I want off. I just kind
Okay.
of plan it based off of what I feel like I need to do or what I know I have, coming up. Like in October, I'm supposed to be going to Vegas. But now I'm
Oh,
like, I don't know. I might just stay home.
you
I might just stay
okay?
home
I got
and
okay, and just
and
see.
just do what I gotta do.
So you have a
Yeah.
trip coming up in October.
Yeah.
Okay, so you getting time with your
I
friends,
haven't,
your
but
people. Hey.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's why I say it's so hard to balance everything because again, like I said, it's like okay, well I do work. Like I don't just, I'm not just working for anything, but I do or for nothing. But I do have money saved, so it's not like I'm just um living with my mom, paying my bills, and not saving.
Yeah.
But to me, the whole thing of saving is adding to it. And not taking from it. And I feel
Yeah.
like my biggest struggle is continuously adding to it. Consistently adding to it, so that like there is a rhythm. And so I
Do you
think
have trouble staying out of it?
just the 50, no,
Okay,
staying
so
out
it's
of
just
it
keeping
is just adding
consistency.
to
Okay,
it.
and staying consistent. Like,
Yeah.
how often do you
Um,
contribute to your savings?
So when I contribute to my savings, I don't do it out of each paycheck. I typically only do it out of one, and I typically will do 100 just straight out of one.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay,
and so,
okay.
um,
Well, so do you don't have direct deposit? You might need to just have you
I
tried
do.
being letting them just take the money out before you even see it? Cause that works for some people. It works for me. Like, don't even just take it.
Say
Just
that
you gonna
again.
take it anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you
No,
ever
no, no. I didn't.
have you done
When you said,
direct
"Do I ever just
deposit?
let them take it?"
Yeah, direct deposit. When
Oh,
whenever
like
you
into
get
my
paid,
savings?
yeah, to where they take the money
No,
out
I
without you
haven't
even
ever.
seeing it. Hmm. You,
Mm-mm.
You haven't done
My,
direct deposits?
mm-mm.
Okay.
Not into my savings. I just like move it over.
Okay. So
Oh,
she
yeah.
manually moves it over versus
Yeah.
Which
how
is why it's
you
been
don't even.
consistent. Oh, hey, you might want to go on and make it automatic and save yourself from yourself. If you know how to set that kind of stuff up, because I'm telling you, in 3 months you will impress yourself on how much your savings has risen. Because consistency, like especially not the consistency that you can forget about when you remember it. It's gonna be tempting not to spend it
Mm-hmm.
because you would have saved that much. You'll have a comma in your account before you know it. You might want to, I feel like that would behoove you to try to do that because if it's left up to you, so far your track record, I don't even think you're most happiest with yourself in that area. I think that'll be a good
Yeah,
challenge. I'm gonna just throw it out there, or try it for like
for
six
sure.
months of automatic withdrawal or whatever the transfer, whatever the term is. Try it 3 months and just commit to it because see the vision. I'm gonna get my spot. You gonna during this
Yeah.
process we're gonna find out where it is you want to stay, and you're gonna find a location, and we're gonna save and come up with a plan, and you're gonna stay in that place. But it cannot happen if these little building blocks don't get straightened up in the areas that is crooked. And I think you
Right.
being in charge of your money
That was a good
sometimes. Yeah,
analogy.
yeah. Oh, thank you. But yeah, just my thought. Just my thought on that because yeah, if you're not having troubles dipping into it, I feel like that's half the battle. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. For
Hmm.
you not to dip into it is amazing. So I think you definitely, like you say, is on the right track. And for me, it sounds like you have a really good close relationship with your mom, or I'm not sure if you have friends here in Dallas or back home. Either of the two. It also comes along with getting an accountability partner.
Yeah.
And of course, us telling you now that, hey, this is a suggestion, you figuring out who can hold you accountable because, like, again, at the time,
Yes.
Leon really is who was holding me accountable. Chez, I can remember to that space back then. Randomly, she would ask me what's in my account, and I would snapshot it from my phone. That's how crazy it
She
was.
be on
And she
it.
was holding me
Honestly.
to a standard. That's how it was. And the inner me was such a thrill to be like, boom, look,
I
got
know.
it.
I didn't believe in her, but she shut me up. Yeah, yeah. She had a goal and a
that
vision. Yeah. What's the
that that was definitely like a leg up. So it's amazing that you don't even tap into it because that used to be my thinking would be, oh, I got it and I'm gonna put it back, or I'm gonna just take a little and then I'll just give more the next paycheck. Like I had all these ways to not save, pretty much, like in my head.
Right.
It turned out needing that accountability partner or that person that would check in with me because I'm telling you, it would be so random when she would ask me and I'd just be ready to throw it at her to say, I got it. I'm there. I'm there. So
She
you could
would. She
try
would.
that.
Do you have one of those off the top of your head, Chess?
I would say no, and the only reason why I say that is because, well, let me not say no.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend, she's back home. She
Yeah.
would definitely be that person. She's always, I mean, she's actually always been good at like saving money, adding money to it, like since we were young. It's like 16, since we started working, to be honest.
Okay.
But she just had a baby. He's like, so she's, even her life is,
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
whole nother level.
Yeah.
So it's not that I feel like she wouldn't hold me accountable because we talk all the time.
Great.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
just probably I wouldn't say, I don't know. I feel we talk all the time, but we don't talk as often, but we never really have, like, if that makes sense,
Oh,
because we
okay.
need to always see each other.
Mm-hmm.
We might go a while without talking to each other, and maybe that's still a good thing in this scenario because the little checkup on the, savings account thing, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think with our relationship, that would actually, something like that would be good.
And
But
FaceTime is
I
like the real
don't,
thing too, as far as you and your best friend keeping in contact.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because, like I said, she just had a baby, so we're always FaceTiming each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's your
Um,
baby.
and so, but see, and then with that, it's just like, okay, is that something that I can, I don't want to say depend because she's never not been dependable.
Yeah.
But is that something I actually want to put on her? That
Okay.
that responsibility on top of her having baby. But if it, I wouldn't. I'd ask her about it. I'd talk to her about it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think
Right.
she would say. I don't
Yeah.
think she would say no.
Right.
I,
Like you say,
mm,
pick the room or who you think is best because it sounds like your mom is supportive, and I
mm-hmm.
guarantee you, we walk away today and you go and say, "Mom, this is my vision. This is what I want to do. In 6 months, I want to have this much. Hold me
Mm-hmm.
accountable for making sure I got $200 in my account every month. Randomly ask
Yeah.
me how much I got, even if you just had two
Yeah.
alarms to just be
Yeah.
like, hey, how much you got in there? Boom, that's it. So yeah, I definitely understand it. You don't want to be a burden to
Yeah.
nobody, but
Yeah. Yeah.
whether it's your mom or your best friend, when you come to them in your genuine
Yeah.
open heart and say, this is what I want to do, I don't think they'll view it as that way either way because you're not asking for nothing,
Yeah. No.
physical
It's
at this point.
yeah.
So
It's to be better.
definitely just
Yeah.
weigh your options.
Yeah. And as soon as you like leave something on the floor or something, she's gonna remember. Oh, let me ask her if she been saving her money. Cause no, I'm just playing.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. But no, yeah, that's great. I feel like a mother's love in this situation is gonna be some nice TLC for sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, does anyone have anything they want to say or contribute before us going forth and working on how we can save up a budget and work with the time that we have to work with?
Oh,
Uh,
I,
like I said, I
mhm.
think you're overwhelmed enough at this point between two
Yes,
jobs
Lord.
and school. Don't get me wrong. But my suggestion, of course, like I say, would be taking the idea of where you need to be with a budget or come up with that number that your
mhm,
goal is
Yeah.
and figure out who you can use as an accountability partner. Because, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I think you have locked in as far as discipline on, waking up, going to work, tackling this, doing that. Like your day, it sounds like it's structured and it's built out, but the ultimate goal of saving X amount and then just actually doing it is just,
mhm.
actually executing it. So speaking into an
Mm-hmm.
existence,
What about multiple? Can
Right.
she have
affirming
more?
every day.
Like, what if her best friend and her mama ask both of them? No, I don't know. Like,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
If
mean,
one person falls short
you
or
can't go
forgets,
wrong.
yeah, because you really, like, you've been there a year and a half, you got to use everything. So
Mhm.
why not? Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up to you.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, we will, work on it and we will talk to you soon. Be merry.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Ah.
All right, Chaz.
Bye.
Very unique situation, though. I definitely commend her for being able to juggle all that
Oh, yeah.
in
With
a
two
day.
jobs and yeah, right? She did 2 days. She did both jobs and started school. Mm-hmm. I would use
And
that as
doing home.
motivation, man. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say, yeah, there's a lot in one, but I can definitely understand where she comes from when she wants that independency. Just
Yeah.
remembering, thinking back when I was home with my mom,
Yeah.
just wanted to, just be
Be
able to walk around your house naked, doing
yes.
dumb stuff
yes. In your
that
own
you just
space.
think that you can't do. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's very realistic for her to just figure out what she needs to save, put a number to it, and kind of move forward from there and
Yeah.
just execute it. I
Mm-hmm.
know that sounds easier said than done, but
right.
it can happen because you're a prime example. You told me what this is the blueprint.
Right.
Here it is.
Right. And you was not an easy person to cause I hate budgeting and I'm over here like I should be like, yeah, food, just keep that on there. But I'm like, no, 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 we gotta do this right. Anyways, but yeah,
Yes,
we'll see what
it's that
happens. We'll
accountability
see.
partner.
Yeah.
It's
Fly in her arms over the sea. Same window, yellow candy screen, 6 pictures of pie with velvet roses digging freedom fly.
So what's up, Chez? Like, how's it been going?
Great.
Well, we're gonna catch
Yeah.
Shatara up on some stuff. Shatara knows some things, but she doesn't know everything. So we're gonna get her. We're gonna tell her some stuff on what happened.
Okay. So I'll just kind of go, I guess, case by case, kind of the things that we talked about, some of the things that I implemented and, brainstormed and things like that. When we originally kind of started talking and things like that, big thing was saving.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the thing that I started doing was taking 25 out of each paycheck, and having that go automatically to actually in the form of a certificate. So
Okay, the
basically
certificate for
it's
yeah. What does that
hmm
mean? Because I'm not too familiar with it, but
so
yeah.
so people do like you could do like CDs. It's basically just a savings that basically accrues money.
Okay.
People do it's almost like a savings bond, or if you want to look at it that way.
Is it like
Um,
interest? Is that the same as gaining interest or something different?
So
Okay.
yeah, so this yep,
Yes.
so it does gain interest. So basically on a weekly basis, I have 25 coming out of each check. Automatic accrual is the biggest thing for me was uh, being consistent. So uh,
Yeah.
part of what I did, to help with the consistency and making sure that I'm continuously saving is, like I said, doing the certificate. It's a reoccurring transfer, so I don't even have to think twice about it. With
Excellent.
that yeah, and that was something that you recommended, so you don't even see it.
Okay.
So in a sense, I don't. Um, it is untouchable for about what's October. It's basically November, and so for about 2 more months, it's untouchable.
Okay.
So basically, what happens is you can set what they call a maturity date, and basically from the time that I started putting money in up until that maturity date, it will accrue interest. So I'm not sure what the rate is, but it'll basically be have more money in it than initially, whatever the ending point is at.
You said you
Um,
did it for 3 months.
So
What
I
made
said
you
it for
choose
2 months.
3 months?
Just because I wanted to do it, I wanted to see what it would be at in those 3 months, and I felt like it was, it's something I could basically do quarterly. So like every 2 months, where are you at right now? All right, what's your next goal? Just things like that. So, and I guess essentially, well, I wouldn't say that I was expecting to move by January. I think really it was just like let's see where we at. Let's see how we do with the 25,
Yeah.
every week, 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
and after the 3 months, up it, and then basically start all over again with a bigger amount.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
so
a
that.
great start point. I like that.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without your help. And so yeah, it's definitely put me into the habit, and the routine of saving, and I think that was the biggest for me.
Mhm.
Um,
Out of
just
sight, out of
making sure
mind. Yep.
exactly, it's just constant. You don't think twice about it, and I think that was a very big deal for me in regards to even getting started.
Yeah.
Um,
And I know you went
uh,
looking at some apartments and kind of came
Yeah,
ran into something.
so I did
Yeah.
some virtual tours since I wasn't able to get in contact with the people to actually do it in person. So I did settle for some virtual tours. They were not bad. I still personally want to see what they actually look like, just to get a feel of it. I know one week we had, they talked about, sometimes apartments are set up like for me, like, well, prior to after we talked about, before, or let me say it like this. At first, when we had talked about it, my biggest concern was, me living by myself.
Yeah.
So, um, wanted to make sure that just the layout of the apartment was like, like in a well lit area, that I wasn't going to be walking through dark hallways or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I still want to, physically go and see it. And, sometimes you see something online and you get there and you're like, okay, this is just a little bit too small. Just, in square footage, you know, can either be exactly as it looks or it can be kind of deceiving. So I still want to be able to see, I guess not what, but how the square footage is kind of divided amongst the places. Because I would,
Yeah. That
don't
makes a
have
difference,
a
don't it?
super
Yeah.
small, yeah,
Yeah.
like a super small room with a big old living room. And it's like, I'd rather have it reversed. I'd
Mhm.
rather have my bedroom, not too much space in my living room because it's not like there's going to be 1,050 people in my house.
Yeah.
So that was, that was very major for me as far as apartments. But there's definitely some potentials out there, and I think that's really nice to know. Um, that that there are options out there. There are options out there that will meet my budget. I think is very important
Yeah,
too.
and
Uh,
local. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Local is very important, especially because of my job, and I don't want to be too far away. I don't want to have to make up. I guess what they say. The further away you live from the place, it's like that's the more you're spending in gas. So I still want to be able to kind of keep it neutral so that I'm not having to take from one area or one aspect of, my life to
Hmm.
fund the other.
Have you
Um,
have you had a chance to take it a step further, which you may not have, because yeah, take it a step further and see how much you would need to save up to move into these particular apartments and how long it would
I
take.
did
Okay.
I did not get a chance to do that because that's why I wanted to go in person because I know that so like if you look online, they'll say like, okay, the one bedroom ranges from,
Hmm.
800 to 900. Well, I want to know what is causing the difference. Like I'm not worried about it. That's a perfect range.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I've seen some that was like 845 to 1,000, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, like what are you offering? I know sometimes I don't know exactly. It doesn't really seem like they're like that out here because a lot of places I've seen only have like a $400 deposit, which is like crazy to me because it's not like that in Seattle. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's the deposit, but then sometimes there's other factors that might like if you don't really have rental history, they'll be like, all right, we need a higher deposit. So there's just little things that you learn when you actually go talk to them, rather than um, seeing it online. Sometimes it's like you don't know what units have the washer and dryers.
So
I
you
know that
basically want to
sometimes
wait till you
it's
select
more,
your apartment, and then you want to,
yeah,
because yeah, why do it for two apartments?
kind of, but
Oh.
but not really because I do like the idea, like you said, of knowing how much it's going to cost with like first and last, and those are things that you don't know online.
Yeah.
So that's why I still do actually want to go and talk to people because
And it's the
there's
prices
just questions
change.
that
You go in
right,
Right.
person and
That's
be
what I
like,
was gonna.
yeah, online, y'all, this was the rent. And I come in person, y'all
Hmm.
850
yeah,
online. It's 25 with a free 2 months rent.
right,
And they forget that,
and I have learned from previous experiences that the prices do change, and sometimes it's just because it could be the time of the year. It could be well, that was our price last month. We raised the price this month. Like this that really happens, and that's
Hmm.
something I didn't know. Going with a friend to look at apartments. So um, that's another good. Those are the things that you don't know until you actually go talk to
Yeah.
people. And
That,
so
that's a,
um,
not to cut you off. That makes me, Shatara, you remember your apartments that you
Yep. That's
love?
what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
She,
time of the year, I'm almost 100% certain, Chez. Rates are more expensive in the summertime. Summer moves are way more expensive than in the winter because the turnover is in the winter.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. Why?
yeah,
You
Hmm.
know, people move.
and that's
Oh, well.
there's a lot of places didn't have, like, and so a lot of places have that I've seen had like multiple layouts or like multiple one bedrooms, and I'm like, okay, well, what's the difference? So some of them don't look different at all. As far as like the floor plans, so I'm like, okay, well, what's the difference? Some of them aren't even available, so I'm assuming it's like like Sha'Tara said, like it's sometimes you don't have apartments that are available up until the springtime, and I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure a lot like she said, more people are probably looking to move when the weather's nice. Me personally, I'm gonna try to take advantage of,
Mhm.
Yeah, you definitely want to
it's
do
not,
it in the winter time.
yeah,
That and I think the other thing that be with the price fluctuation, like you say, some have washer and dryer included, or it could be the inside of the apartments. I know a previous apartment I stayed in, to have black appliances was way more expensive than having the white appliances.
Dang.
Hardwood,
right.
carpet. There was so many moving pieces to the point where you have to say, this is what
Yeah,
my budget is. What can I do for this amount here? Which apartment is it
right.
going to be? So,
Oh,
yeah.
speaking of budget, Chance, did you? I feel like you said you hit up some people for accountability. What happened with that?
I personally have not been dealing with anybody as far as accountability goes because of my legit thing. So I really
Uh,
because it's free. I didn't even bother. But honestly, I didn't even bother doing that. I was just
Okay.
like, listen, if
Okay.
you're
You told me
it's
you
going
hit some people
over
up
there,
for the accountability, but because I was like, okay, what's up, and I just been forgetting to
yeah,
ask you about it. But I'm gonna let you go
I
on
was,
and be great. Because you clearly saved your money, and that was the most important part. You didn't need
yeah,
Right.
accountability, so
I
that's even better.
also worked, if I was going to be, if it was going to be just like in my savings account, or if I was going to be doing it cash wise or something like that. But with the option that I chose to go,
Hmm.
I was just like, this is for me. This is all the accountability, honestly, that I need because I can't do anything with it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if it's automatically going over there, I can't touch it. So hey,
that's great. That's
not
great.
Yeah.
it worked itself out.
It did. Did you have a chance to work on reading anything in your reading venture?
I did actually.
Okay.
So ago, I was at work and this lady was checking out a book, and it was a book I had already read. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm really excited to read it. I've heard great things about it." And I said, "It is. It's a really good book." Um, I told her about the previous books that the author had read. How at the time I was in the middle of reading one of her newest books,
Okay.
which was newer than she was reading. And so, funny enough, she was interested in doing a book club.
Mm.
So, like
Wow.
yeah, so she was interested in starting a book club and having discussions about things. And I said, wow, in my
Perfect
mind, she
timing.
doesn't know
Yes.
God. So for me, I was like, okay, this is perfect because now I've met somebody, face to face who is interested in the same things I'm in, that I'm interested in. She
Yeah.
clearly reads the same thing. We kind of went over just a little bit about the book, and she was really excited to read it. So we exchanged numbers. Um,
Wow. Shatara, when I say this girl loves reading and is into it and just wants to, like the timing of that is not by chance. Oh my
no,
God,
not at all.
not at
And
all.
that's the same thing met her. Um, to meet somebody who was literally on the same page that I was on.
Yes.
I still want to do anything with the children, just because with my library classes, I'm learning how important it is for children and how a lot of children don't have access to books. So I definitely still want to do that. I actually found one of the information centers, the apartment kind of across the street from me. So I'm trying to schedule a time to meet with them to go in there, just kind of take a look around and, see what they have. Because I know, like I said before, a lot of places like that have, computers or they'll have like, printers and stuff for them. But like, do you guys have books?
Yeah, right.
Just to stimulate the kids' minds and things like that, But I didn't just want to do books. I wanted to make sure that they had the things that they needed, so pens, papers, crayons, things that I've learned that they need to be successful in reading and writing. But back to the book. So yes, we exchange numbers. So we have been in communication. So we're just trying to figure out how we want to get it going, how we want to implement bringing people in,
You
trying to
already
figure out,
started brainstorming it too. So this is not brand new. You can bring those ideas to the forefront now.
Um, exactly, and that's what I had told her. Like, this is really crazy because I myself, was trying to figure that same thing out. Whether to do a book club, whether to do like an podcast discussion. But I think in my personality, especially in meeting her, we're both the type of people that like to come together and discuss stuff.
Okay.
So, as
You
far as
sound
that
like
is
some like
concerned,
readers, people who love to read. I just want to gather and just read together. So cute.
I really want, but I mean, you can even take something like that and, do what you guys do, record it and post it online. If you guys
Hmm.
want to know if you want to know how it goes and what people think about it, here it is. So I was really excited about that. It kind of, again, worked itself out.
Yes, yes,
um,
yes.
and I was totally blown away when she said that she wanted to do that because I was like, I was meant to meet you.
Mm-mm.
But like this is something that I've been discussing. So the fact that I was able to meet somebody who was wanting to do the same thing that I did,
Yeah.
um, it's like okay, now we can come together and really make it happen. So I'm actually really excited about that.
Oh yeah, that
The
means.
hardest thing
Mm.
by the time the stuff in, um, But hopefully, if all goes well, I will. I'm going to roll this into things that I'm grateful for because that's something that we touched on too. So I have not not been thinking about that. If I will have a little bit more free time, I actually had an interview with the Dallas Public Library.
Hey, I was
Uh,
gonna ask about it. Okay.
and I think it went really, really well. I think more importantly, they have like 7 open positions. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely going to fill one of those.
You ain't
I'm not
lying.
really.
Because yeah, you said you were
um,
you've applied for the same position several times, and what
yes,
been looked
yes, that's
over.
right. So I had applied for this position previously and had not even got a call back. And I was telling you, like, man, if I don't get a call back, or sometimes that I was going to go talk to the branch manager at the
Chaz is pulling
location
up
that I
on
had.
everybody at the library. Let me tell you now.
And, and surprisingly, because they'll tell you like, oh, we're like when I went to go talk to him the first time, he was like, we're hiring, but we're not hiring for this branch. That's when I had told him like, I know I applied, blah blah blah. So this time around, through the interview process, I was actually able to find out they are hiring for multiple branches, and I was able to two branch managers at other locations. One of the locations is close to my house too. So I am crossing my fingers. I am praying
Yes,
to the
yes.
man above.
Please.
One of the is closest to my house will be one of the places because one of the ladies that I interviewed with, she works at the Renard Frankfurt branch, which is right down the street from my house. But the guy that I spoke previously, he works at the Timberglen branch, which they're also hiring for. And I'm like, well, I already met him. So it's not like I'm going to go in there, wondering supervisors. I already know. So I state I'm not going to, it just so happens to be that one. I'll just feel like, okay, another thing that was meant to be. So I didn't have to worry about going in, but I probably am still going to go up there and talk to him just to share the good news, even if it doesn't go. But I'm not even going to go over its existence because I'm going to get it.
Yes, yes, it's happening. Everything is lining up. Like, why not? Like, you're made for this position. I'm telling you, Sha'Tara, she was like, I got selected. I thought I did a good interview. Looked up, they hired somebody else. And I want to say it happened again, right? Like you applied
No, it was
again.
also no. This was the only time that I had applied for it, or well, previously I had applied for. I applied right after I had got hired on at Plano.
Okay.
Crazy thing was to get an interview. Like normally they'll send you a thing that says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we went with another candidate." Like I didn't even get one of those. So I was like, "Dang!" Like did I?
No update. Okay.
Yeah, like I do. But when I seen that they were hiring again, I jumped on it immediately. Yeah, I jumped on it immediately. I didn't know what I did different this time. I'm not even going to worry about it because.
Hey, I feel like you really, really putting energy into something positive and it's sprouting. You know it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
You've been
good.
extra grateful lately. All of this is not by chance.
When,
More life.
um,
More life, Chaz, for
I'm
real.
that though. So it's like I just like you said, I really do feel like these are starting to fall into place, and I really feel like had it not been for you, just with and I mean what you asked is not, it's not extensive, It wasn't like you was. I didn't have to dedicate my whole life to it. It's just a little bit of time,
Just a little bit.
And I I feel like having the opportunity to really sit down and think about, okay, Chez, well, what do you want? What are you to accomplish? And I feel like having you there, having your guys' service to kind of create that timeline or create those steps is allowing everything else to fall into place. Because now it's like, okay, you have something more than just school and work to focus on. You actually have goals, and this kind of for the doing, not so much just the talking, but the actually doing really, is helping it grow. So it's like you could think of or want 1,000 things, but unless you really start, envisioning and planning and implementing, I don't
They
come
just
to fruition.
Exactly. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, they are. I feel like definitely with your health, like it's been very exciting for me because I really do feel like things are happening. Whereas, at first we're just like, all right, working, I'm in school. Yeah, these are the things I want to do. Like that's it.
Right.
It's just a list. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
All
there
right.
was no vision of how to accomplish. Um, so
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just glad to have help assisted. Okay, well, it sounds like a lot of things went smoothly, though. I did want you to kind of talk about challenges, just to kind of see, like, where areas that kind of had gave you a setback. If you had any, you may not have had any.
I don't really think anything that in particular to what I have planned to do was a setback. I think for me right now is a lot of it is time. Like because I am still working two jobs and I'm doing school, it's like I have to literally find the time to get things done, and that's not always easy. And so one of the things that I've decided to do, I'm actually going to step back from my second job. I think I'm just going to let that go altogether because it really has been really hectic for me trying to
Yeah.
juggle work, juggle my job. And again, I'm going to step into this with faith,
Yeah.
telling myself that I got this job, so I don't even need to be working two part-time jobs in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How
Uh,
many do
that,
you know
that,
how many hours or how much you would work with the library position that you're going to get?
it's 40 hours a week. It's a Tuesday through Saturday position. Off every Sunday, Monday. That's literally the schedule. I don't have to worry about rotating weekends or
Okay.
anything
Oh,
like that. It's
but even
it's
offer stability. That's good.
Mhm.
yeah. It, and I feel like right now that's really the heaviest thing because at the library sometimes it's like, hey, can you work extra hours? And if I say yeah, and then the bookstore decides to schedule me like I think I told you last time I spoke with you, like, so this week right now, it was, I work the library Monday through Friday. My days off, uh, normally for this week would have been Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm making up hours
Mm.
Friday. Bookstore has me scheduled Saturday. So I'm only going to have one day off. Um,
Oh.
so it's just like that, and it's always in those days off. Like today I had like three things to do after I got off of work. I literally had to do my interview. I went to go take a COVID test, and I just came back from Vegas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then I had this phone literally had to schedule everything today because I knew that it was a short day for me at work, and it's when I was going to be able to get most things accomplished. So then when Saturday rolls around, I work about 5 hours Saturday. Then it's right back to, trying to get stuff accomplished. And then my one day off, which is not really going to be a day off because I'm pretty sure I'm still going to be trying to
Doing
get
some.
things done.
Mhm.
So I hustle and bustle. Like it feels good in a sense, I like to feel like I'm busy, but at the same time, I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I don't want to be exhausted, um, you know, or anything like that. It's just
Right, right, right. But I feel like this is grind time. We're at that age. I don't know when it really
yeah.
stops, but but it's so much easier when you have like stuff to look forward to, like your new job and
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, your book
Absolutely.
club. So we're gonna be grinding. Let me sign me up for that
Oh
kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Oh yeah. And me scaling back, like I said, even if like I said, I don't really want to even say those words, but if it just so happened that I didn't get this position, I still want to step back from that second job because it's going to allow me time to do things such as implement, a book club. I can't do that if I'm working two jobs and juggling school. It's just
Yeah.
not, it's not, I can tell you now it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
Uh,
Right.
trying to squeeze in, and I don't want that to be how it is established. You know what I mean? I want to be fully present. I want to be fully available. I don't want to feel like, all right, y'all, only got 10 minutes today for us to discuss some things. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be solid. Um, let's see. I feel like there was something else that I was going to say, but I forgot. Um, but yeah, but that in itself, is definitely still going to be a grind. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something that I want to get going on. It's not just something that I want to keep talking about.
Mhm.
I can really dedicate myself to it, and the only way I'm going to do that is by sparing up some time. That's what I was going to say. In addition to that, I just recently found out that I'm going to have another heavy school load come winter because of the classes that are only offered in the winter. And I'm like, well,
Oh,
I'm not going to a whole nother year to do one class. So I'll literally be done in the springtime, which means I'll be able to graduate in the summertime.
This
So,
Okay.
summer? Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
I didn't know you were
Mhm.
that close to graduation. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I
I
kind of remember. Yeah, that's good news. That's real good. I
mm,
mean, given that you'll be swamped, but
I know.
the
right.
on you.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I
Mm,
feel like again, um, even in the interview that I had, I had spoke about that. It's just like, I wasn't gonna do this at all. I wasn't gonna go to school. Because I was already in the field. And so like for what? Like I already have the experience.
oh,
But
you just gonna
I
move
felt
up? What's higher than the when you were a librarian?
no,
That's
I'm because so and that's the thing. It's like you can work you don't have everybody who works at a library is not a librarian. Um and so there are people who never become librarians. There are people who just are like depending, different libraries have different names for it. So like right now at the Plano Library, I'm a library service representative. All in all, I do customer service.
oh,
Some
okay.
people stay
Gotcha.
there.
Mhm.
People are satisfied at that
Mhm.
level of lives, and that's never me. I've never been that type of person.
Yeah.
I've always tried to find, positions, that were upward,
Mhm.
that fit me. And I really did debate for a really long time if I was even going to be a librarian. And the more that I work, the more that I'm in school, I'm like, okay, I know for sure now that this is something that I actually really want.
Mhm.
Um, and so it is, it is, I'm going to be, but it's something that I want. And I feel like if, we make time for the things that we want. And one of the things that I've definitely done is even with my hectic schedule
Mhm.
is I've been on top of my schoolwork and I don't
Yeah.
plan on stopping.
Great.
Work is not what's the word I'm looking for? Work isn't taking a back seat with me doing it. From what I started doing with you, saving hasn't taken a back seat from doing that, and those right there are kind of go hand in hand. So that I'm happy about.
Mhm.
Moving out is not going to take a back seat because I'm in school. I'm still on track as far as knowing that I'll be done in the summertime. I probably won't
Yeah.
try to move out. Summertime is more expensive, but just I feel like I'm definitely on
Gotta do what you
course
gotta do.
to.
Yeah.
But
Right.
exactly
Yeah.
is really what it was.
If you don't mind me asking, what does a
Mhm.
librarian do? Like, what all? If I'm thinking, it's like the librarian tells
Mhm.
me points and be like, fiction over there, 3A, Al. But I know there's way much deeper. Like I say, you have to have a master's off
Yeah.
top.
So
So, yeah. I'm
you
like, what else is there?
have anybody in the library is going to tell you where something is. That's the thing about that's just like directional assistance. Anybody can tell you that.
Hmm.
Library. So the type of people that say you come in and like, hey, I have a question about cancer. Well, they're gonna start. I wouldn't say drilling you, but they're gonna ask really extensive questions about like, okay, well, what kind of cancer are you looking for, or what about cancer do you want to know? They're basically going to provide you with the resources to get you the information that you're looking for. And trust me when I say the questions go beyond just like things like cancer. You have people that will come in and say, you know, hey, I'm trying to get out of debt. They'll look
Hmm.
for programs, resources, books. They'll literally try to get you all the information that they possibly can, or at least show you how to access it.
Oh,
It's,
okay. That makes a
Okay.
lot of sense now that you explain that. Because I would want the librarian to be able to recommend, all that you got in your library that could help with whatever I'm trying to research.
yeah,
Nice.
and that's yeah. Librarians they do with programming. Sometimes they'll do some special. I haven't seen anybody out here do it yet, but
Hmm.
sometimes they'll do they'll have a class come in. If say for instance there's a school right across the street or something, or right down the street that's walking distance that a lot of kids frequent. They'll do class visits. Let them get familiar with the library, get all the kids signed up for library cards, and these are the things that I've assisted with.
Hmm.
Assisted with. They do like story times, things like that. So those are more so the things that librarians do. They have to be able to, help teachers or even students, follow their curriculum, pick out books for their curriculum, things
Okay,
like
they do a
that.
whole bunch. Do people really
People,
return their books? Like I try to, but people really be keeping books, and you've heard the stories of people getting locked up.
people really, okay, people really do keep their books. Um, Not this library, but the last library that I worked at back home, there was actually somebody who worked for the library who kept books, and she ended up getting fired.
Wow.
Yes,
Wait, what?
She got high up her own
because
supply.
yeah, basically. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hoard books too, but I hoard mine within the dates that I can hoard
Mhm.
this. So like I can tell you right, I have multiple copies of the same book because I go to different libraries because they'll be like, oh, this book's due, and I'm like, okay, cool, you can have your book back because I got another copy from another library.
Mhm.
But I have books that I've had probably since I started working at the library in May. Um, and because they just renew, but they eventually will like final due date where you got to bring it back, but people will keep them beyond that due date.
I can imagine.
Wow.
I can imagine.
A lot of libraries don't charge.
Wasn't it like a fine or something for each day, like 30 cents a day or $1 a day?
Don't have fines anymore.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's the
they found out
problem. Why? What? So it's just self accountability or the honor system now.
both, both. But
That's
really
nice.
they found that really hindering more people from using the library. A lot of people so because libraries are placed in communities, you got different people from different walks of life. So if you think about like lower income families, those bills add up. If you're charging 30 cents a day and you got a book that's 10 days late, that's $3. Now double that, you got to take into account how many books do you have checked out. You got 10 books checked out, that's $30 right there. Um,
Mhm.
Dang.
those things and if and people will stop using the library altogether. You may not get them books back either because they're like, I got fines, I'm not going to the library.
You know,
Um,
Yep.
people gonna be looking at you.
and really, the library doesn't make money. They don't make enough for it to even be considered revenue. So
Mhm.
there are some libraries who still do charge fines, but like a lot of libraries out here don't charge fines.
I guess the government
They,
is like pays libraries light bills and stuff.
they actually have to budget all that.
Oh, okay.
So the library does have a budget. They have to work out how to, those are like admin things. So like admin takes care of that. So basically they'll have, I mean, essentially, yes, the government does between that and taxpayers' money. Um, yeah, fines, like I said, fines aren't enough to even be considered as revenue. But um, between either the government, like the money that they're like, all right, this is your budget from government money, and then tax dollars, you literally have to like budget your money for those type of things, like for the whole entire year. So it's
Okay. Okay.
I doubt that any libraries things. Surprisingly, I've asked this question before too because there are certain lights that stay on in the library, and I've always wondered too, like, who pays these bills?
For
um,
real. For real.
I don't so I myself was like, who pays these bills? Because us, we turn off all the lights when we leave.
Right. Books free
Um,
Mhm.
now. Shoot. We ain't paying for books no more, so who paying the bills? But girl, I feel
right.
like you schooled me
Uh,
on librarian stuff. Okay.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
interesting. Even in the interview today, I told them honestly, I had never in a million years even thought about where librarians come from. I just thought they existed. I just like they just exist.
Yeah.
Um, they
Well,
have a whole journey that they go on, and it is expensive. But I think if it's something that you like to do, it's definitely worth it. And that was the biggest thing for me is not just with work, but with school too, is finding something that I can see myself doing for the rest of my life.
yeah,
And
Mhm.
huge. Yeah, that's real big. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well. Well, throughout this whole process, what do you think? Would you say helped the most in whatever areas that you worked on?
um, I think just having a goal, I think really, being able to just talk about the things that I was trying to accomplish and having, your help with kind of breaking it down, like having those starting points. I mean, that's definitely something that I want to be able to continue on my own
Okay.
is, I think, what are you trying to accomplish and then figuring out how to accomplish them. And I think that was what I didn't have,
Okay.
in my mind, it was like, this is what I'm trying to do, but not knowing exactly how to get it done. Like
Yeah.
having little ideas, but never really
Put.
taking the time, I guess you said, to put it into action,
Mm-hmm.
just from with baby, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to put money away, but what is the goal?
Yeah.
How are you to, implement that? How are you going to make sure that it's getting done without slacking on it or without reneging on it with the apartment? So it's like, okay, well, you want to move out, but where do you want to move to? How much do you want to spend? How just
Yeah.
stuff. Um, because me, I'm the type of person that says, okay, I want to move. Let me just start looking at apartments. With with nothing else. Honestly, I'm being so honest. Like with nothing more. No other thoughts.
Oh yeah, but you
It
know we
Mhm.
wasn't.
all work different. Our brains work different. I know plenty of people that work
Yeah.
yeah like that for sure. And I can at
It
times.
was just
Mhm.
yeah. With the whole thing I said before, like years ago, I had said like I think I was gonna do like a video blog type thing with books that I had read.
Mhm.
That's all that I got. So it wasn't like, okay, well, who's gonna be in the audience? How do I really want to go about this? What are we gonna talk about? It was never more than just a thought. Um, Honestly, it really wasn't. And I think now having the experience of knowing how to start from having that thought to breaking down how I'm going to go about it, how I want to implement it, what do I see happening, things like that. And for me, I feel like that made it a whole heck of a lot easier.
Mhm.
Um,
Wonderful.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Girl, that is
The
wonderful. That
progress
is.
duly noted, and that's generally had happened. We just as humans, in order for us to be pushed or to keep going, we have to see results to make sure that what we're doing is not in vain. So
But,
Mhm.
I'm glad it's like that.
yeah, and I feel like honestly, if I'm going to be honest, like I feel like that was me. It was like I had all these things
Mhm.
that I felt like I wanted to do, but there were no results. Mainly because I wasn't doing anything more than just thinking about it. Besides school, But even with school, it was at first like I was just in it because I knew that it would help me eventually. I didn't know how though. Because I hadn't made a decision yet. Even as of right now, like I even already know like what school I'm going to transfer to. And those were things that I had not had. Um, that I didn't have before. And like in my interview, they had asked me like, okay, well, because they were kind of curious about the school I was going to now. So I kind of told them about, coming down here and not finding any schools on my program, only to find out I had been looking at them wrong. So I was already enrolled in a school back home. So I just carried that on. But when I was able to actually find schools that offer my program, I started meeting people who actually either went to UNT or they went to TWU, and having people on both ends kind of tell me about the programs. I was able to look into them myself and figure out which one was really more aligned with what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And then I found out in my interview, actually, he's the manager of all the libraries on the east side of Texas or of Dallas. He was a children's librarian, and he went to TWU because their program is set up more so for somebody who wants to do that versus just librarian period or
Yeah.
like they have the archivist program as well. So even just that, alone was super encouraging. That like, all right, here's another person who is steering me in the direction that I need to go for what I want to do.
Mhm.
But it's because I started taking steps to do so.
Mhm.
Okay.
Dang. Shoot, I feel like well, we are to have faith with works. So I feel like you're just a great example of how important the work part is. You can have faith all day, but we here on earth. We're human beings. Action has to
Yeah.
happen. And you good. You got faith and you got action. Please. Please.
Mhm.
You praying,
Yeah,
you
for
staying connected. Yeah, Chez, you about to, about to just hit the ground running. I'm excited to see where it goes. I really am. Really am.
so and I think like it's not just a saying anymore, to be like, oh, I'm so excited to see where this goes. It's like, no, like I'm really actually excited because I've already seen, the results,
Yeah.
in a matter of weeks, I think.
Hey,
Right.
go with it.
So,
Go with it.
but our weekly phone calls. So I think one of the things that I'm gonna try to do is just on a weekly basis, just do like a self check in, like, okay, what what are we tackling this week?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything. I think just even if it's something as reaching out to the lady Monique about the book club,
Yeah.
just very seeing, getting some ideas, seeing where her head is at with that, just little small stuff.
Mm,
Um,
yeah. And that's
back to
investing
the
in you and investing in your passion and the reason why you were created. That's yeah. That's great.
mm,
That's great.
yes, I was major, and I feel like definitely meeting her was like, damn, boom. She just really fell into my lap.
That is they're just brighten up my day for real. Wow. We really literally brainstormed what your book club would be like the last time we talked. Like what are the odds?
hmm
So yeah, I'm
Wow.
just back, just eating popcorn, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to just see where you go. So yeah, man, it's been a delight getting to know you. It really has. It has.
I agree. I agree.
Well, Shaky, Sha'Tara, did you have any well wishes you wanted to give?
No, like you say, I think this has definitely been an experience. It's been great sitting back to look and hear about all the things you've done, you've accomplished, and the fact that you can see past those goals and those
Yeah.
accomplishments, just future working on that, and the whole job and that's exciting because that now frees up time for you to share with family. And I think we
Yeah.
can get so caught up into jobs and moving pieces and being busy, and we kind of miss out on the greater things in life. So you're able to free up some of your time, still tend to school and be about your business. I'm glad to hear everything that you've done over the last couple of weeks, Sharon. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Keep
Yeah,
it up. Like you said, you're going to do. So, what's up? Okay, my
absolutely.
dear. Hmm.
This is. I'm really grateful for this experience because it really has, opened my eyes to what I'm capable of doing as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
it, like I said, it is kind of a lot because I'm doing school and working two jobs, but I mean, it hasn't stopped me yet. If anything, I feel like it just caused me to kind of shift shift how I'm doing, shift what I'm doing just a little bit, but the perspective is definitely there. And I think like, going into this, that's what I was saying. It was just like, how in the world do I get this stuff accomplished, with everything that I have going on
Yeah.
and this
It's possible.
opportunity that you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It gave me the opportunity that it definitely is possible. I think for me, I'm one of those people who just be like, this is what I need to do, and I need to do it. That's it.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
to break it down into smaller pieces, definitely me. It's not like, okay, Chaz, you got to get this done and you got to get this done like this minute. It's more so, hey, this is something that you want to do. These are the steps that you need to take to do it. These are the things that you're going to have to do it. And having that breakdown, on a weekly basis is a lot more feasible than trying to, you know, just say, all right, this is what I want to do with no mindset of when I wanted to have it done
Yeah.
by or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
you know. I'm definitely grateful for this opportunity.
Nice. Wonderful. That's the goal. So, hey, I'm here for you. I will let you. I know you got homework and stuff to do, and that's my whole goal is to just not be too intrusive on your life. But it sounds like we got this ball rolling, so you
You
good.
did.
You don't need
You
me.
guys have more of these because it was, for me, it was definitely helpful. I love that you guys are actually taking the time to even help people do stuff like this. And I personally feel like I have been able to smile a little bit more because things are, they're
Oh,
happening. you know,
that's cute.
I mean, I excited. I was very excited, for our weekly calls. I was very excited to, be able to start saving my money, in the way that I did. I was very excited, like, ooh, let's start looking at apartments. Those things actually, they excite you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't talk about, what I wanted to do as far as the book club. I was excited when I met somebody who, was on the same page as me as far as
Mm-hmm.
I go. So it really, it's a really exciting process.
Mm-hmm. It's motivational. It's great.
Yeah,
It's,
absolutely, to say the least.
yeah, nice, nice. Hey, I'm just cause next year it's gonna be your year. I just felt like I need to say that. So take
I
it.
think it's gonna. Yeah.
It is. It is.
I,
It
oh,
is.
so, and I, yeah, I talked about it too, really quickly. I felt like I took a lot of losses this year, and it wasn't, anything really in life. It was just people. Like I felt like I took a lot of losses, so I feel like I'm gonna get a lot back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I, it just 2021 was really rough. I lost a lot of people, and so
Yeah.
I definitely
I don't
I'm gonna
believe God is trying to punish us. You know, we gotta
no.
learn.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like if anything, he's trying to set us up for for greater.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say like the people that I lost, he was removing them to set me up necessarily for greater. So it's people's time, it's their time, but again, like I said, like when my grandma died, like I was totally at peace because I had to change my thinking. A lot of times you like, oh, heal this person, and my grandma was in a lot of pain. So I had to change up my prayer. And just tell him like relieve her of this pain, and if that
Mm-hmm.
means taking her and do what you got to do. And so when she passed, I was sad, but I was also at peace. So I didn't, it wasn't that hard. Um, deal with. It was something that I hold on for such a long time because I knew that she was finally at peace. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's
Well, that's good.
yeah. I'm glad you were able to do
So
that. I know that was tough. Yeah.
think it's one more thing I worry about. I didn't have to consistently worry about is just going to be, the day that my grandma dies or anything like that, and that was really helpful because I did for a long time. I was just like, man, I'm going to have to go back home. I was trying to figure out how often I was going to go back home to see her and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And
Hmm.
it was kind of full because trust me, it is not cheap flying from Dallas to Seattle, okay?
Oh yeah.
Especially now that COVID, I wouldn't say has chilled, but it kind of, chilled a little bit. So it went back up.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
it's
did.
crazy.
God.
So,
You saw the light in that. Cause to lose your grandma. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I lost my grandma within like a month. Her sister passed away, my great aunt. And then after that, a really, really close friend at one point was in a relationship. So that was really hard. I losing
Mm-hmm.
three people in such a short amount of time was not easy. And I was like, this is too much.
Yeah, for real.
This is way too much. But being able to just and I want to say I didn't meet you too long after that. So it was it was a good way to kind of take my thoughts off of that and kind of
Mm-hmm.
get back to what I needed to do because I believe I said this to you before too. We go through things in life and sometimes it will take our whole focus. It's hard to bounce back because
Yeah.
we're so stuck on it.
Yeah. Cause
A
life
lot of times people
continues. Nothing stops. You know. You still
it
gotta.
does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I'm most grateful for is I know as far as my grandma is concerned and as far as the guy, my guy friend I lost, neither one of them would have, wanted me to stop. They wouldn't have wanted me to stop doing anything that I was doing. So
Okay.
I'm
That's
super
a good
grateful.
way to. That's good. I need to. Yeah. I like that. Keeps you going. Keeps you going. And they would
Yeah,
not want you to stop. Yeah. 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 Just prosper. You always win when you prosper. Yeah. Can't lose.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, yes, like I said, I know you got stuff to do. I appreciate you letting us help you. So just peace to
Absolutely.
everything you're trying to do, like everything you got going on. And
Good vibes only.
I'm listening. Say it again. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying yes, peace and good vibes only.
Yes, Lord,
Yeah.
always. Peace and good vibes only. Miss me with drama and all that extra stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, we don't got.
Okay, then I'm gonna check in with you later on down the line and just see what you got going on, okay? You
Okay, well, that'll be great.
yes. You be merry, Miss Chess.
I will. You as well. Continue to make people smile.
Um, thank you.
Yes.
Cheek to cheek, just like they do in the movies. Tonight, baby, I want your love on tight.
As soon as I put this on.